Yeah, he's back over here now. He sold something over here, and now he's gonna move to Herbie Hancock. But I don't really care. I don't want to arrest someone right now. I've got to talk this through. See, that's the thing. You've got... So you got the merge, for one. And a couple people, like myself, had realized that the merge puts certain people who want to be in power, and they remain in power if they are already in power. An example. And it shows out when one person is not active and they decide they will become active. And that is fully shown with the BCSO major, whoever that is. Whoever Johnson is, I think that's his name. He was active a couple times when we had a ceremony where we scheduled a joint ceremony. He was there. When things were brought up in command chat regarding issues that he wanted an opinion on, they were there. Other than that, was he around in the city when I've been around? No, and I was around pretty frequently, especially as Soze, and I would see different other people.
106, 10 for 110.
I mean, like
250, same traffic.
I mean, another thing is 100% that he realizes, oh, this is my opportunity to stay in command, high command, because he isn't BCSO high command, and he definitely wants to be, and he probably wants to be like lieutenant colonel, just so he has power. Fun fact: anyone that's either an O1 or an O2, one of them falls into the trap of they don't do anything. It's seen everywhere. Either the chief does everything or the assistant chief does everything. Neither of them do both.
They're going to Triple SO for what?
One has all the ideas, the other one has some ideas, but one does all the work. Boom. No pixel.
I already have enough people falling off their bikes with just you around.
No pixel. Ruby York. Ruby York's the assistant chief. Ruby York is doing a lot based on what I've seen from stuff and based on what people talk about. As much as Barrick's good chief, he has a lot of great insight, and he does stuff. But what happens is the people who are in the O1, they dish off all their what they cite as a workload. They dish it off to your assistant chief, your captains, your lieutenants, your sergeants, right? So that's why, like, part of me understands, like, some departments will be like, in the public will be like, or IRL rather, like, okay, we're gonna split everything off. We're gonna reduce our ranks. Like, we're gonna have a chief, assistant chief, no other ranks until sergeant, and then you have a sergeant and you have a PO, and that PO can either be a PO or that PO can either be an FTO, or it could be a detective, or it could be a SWAT. Right, and honestly, personally, that's the way to go. That is what Chicago does. CPD. You're a PO, and if you're not a PO, you're a specialized PO in some sort of other area. There's no real, to me, your senior officer is your sergeant. Or your senior officer is someone who is actively patrolling in the field, right? So like let's for reference. This is not. For reference. Who is traveling to me? Let's outline something here. Look at this. So, let's say we're in a PD. We're in a police department. I don't know how to enlarge this.
Show 138 en route to that latest fight.
Zoom control plus. You have your PD. PD ranks, right? You have chief. Ash Chief. That's high command. This right here. This is high command. This is the ideal, personally. This is the ideal way to structure a police department. In command is sergeant, right? Patrol, police officer. Say you have FTO. Let's say you have two more. This is just straight like patrol. You have like a patrol, FTO. Let's say this one's detective. You can have SWAT. You can have other stuff. Here's it. If this is your rank structure, which is basically what Chicago PD is, and they do it really well, your patrol is perfect in my opinion for 5M. And also, we should think about academy. So this should be outlined into PPO, probationary police officer, and cadet. And then if you haven't taken the academy, you're a recruit. And then if you haven't completed your interview, you're an applicant. So like applicants have completed the application, recruits have recruited the interview. So this would be application. This would be interview. This would be academy. Bro, what is happening? There we go. Academy. And PPO is solo.
Yeah, I'm free any day of the week.
Or actually, rather, this is what you completed right along. So you have completed each step in order to obtain this rank, right? So applicant has completed their application, recruit has completed the interview, and they've been hired. Interview / accepted. Academy, you have completed the academy, so you're now a cadet. And PPO means you have completed ride-alongs, right? So you're solo clear, or your or until you complete your final eval, or etc. etc. Or, and I think what's great about having a PTP, if you're gonna structure like this, right? You don't have a senior rank yet. Your senior rank is technically your sergeant, right? Not everyone could be a sergeant. So you have police officer. Now, if you have a PPO, they've completed ride-alongs, they can solo clear, they can double up, they can do whatever. But they're still probationary, right? They still fulfill the probationary. So, they're almost there, but they still have to learn. They have to learn the field. So that's why that rank's perfect. It's perfect. You're solo cleared. You don't need ride-alongs. You're waiting for your final eval to fully, but it's not rushed, right? It's not rushed. 125. The suspicious handoffs in Vinewood are by Herbie Hancock, I believe. They're kind of dealing them off of the Up and Atom. It's Lost MC.
Got pictures.
No, I'm currently 10-6. I saw him earlier though, running away from it. Yeah, I just don't feel like pursuing that. So yeah, so right, and then you have patrol. You can have FTO. You can have a detective. Well, your senior officer rank actually can become your FTO, your detective, but really, in theory, it becomes your sergeant. Your sergeant is a patrol sergeant. They'll handle. And so this is where it can get iffy. In terms of duties. So like the chief and the assistant chief need to pick up some of the load here. So like your chief should be handling budget. Your chief should be handling budget, general budget. I believe that your that your assistant chief should handle the hiring process. And if you're hiring / training, and your sergeant should be supervising patrol. And I would say they should be handling interviews. And the chief should be handling budget/documents. Right? I think that's a logical way to approach this. It's like, these are your PD ranks. Easy. Any police department. Doesn't matter what. Chief, assistant chief, sergeant, POs. And honestly, you could get to where you can split these up. You can have your shifts. So you can have your sergeants doing either interviews or supervising patrol. And then you could... This would be an optional for me. And I would probably, once I get bodies, I would add a lieutenant. Add a lieutenant to take up this, to do either or. I think that's, honestly, I think that's fair. Right? I mean, clearly. Boom. Right? So I think this is the perfect rank structure you need. Now, the question is always, who fills it? And how do you fill it? First of all, above this, if you were to have multiple of these, which is perfect. Let's say you have a police and you have a sheriff like we have now, and you decide you're going to condense to these ranks. Also, the head of a division, I was always for captain, and I think captain can be high command. But honestly, looking at it now, I would say just if you're going to be head of division, just be a lieutenant in this case, because it works with how you structure it. The only reason you would add the captain rank here is Clarkson's vehicle is someone is pushing Clarkson's vehicle to Romney's vehicle to Mosley's. No, but if you were to add a captain rank, you would just be filling stuff. If someone was a captain, they would do the exact same, and they would just be a placeholder at this point. They wouldn't be taking up either of these duties, and they wouldn't be taking up either of these duties. If anything, that assistant chief would become useless, because they would probably be taking up hiring or training. One of the two would be useless. So filling the captain rank just for a subdivision, is it worth it? Maybe. But also, let's think about what that subdivision head needs to also, besides lead their subdivision, right? Once they structure their subdivision, they're just responsible for hiring. So why not they're just responsible for hiring here? And the assistant chief shouldn't be taking up training, so it's like, why not we just get a captain for training? Doesn't that make complete sense, though? Like, this makes complete sense. And if you're in patrol, you don't need to be a senior officer to be an FTO. You just become an FTO. If you want to get your certs at patrol, not become, or one or the other, you should become one. Like, to me, it's so simple. If you want to be a detective, but allow a time period when you're in patrol. Be like, you have to be in patrol for this amount of days after following graduating as a PPO. So, like, you should be 14 days following your graduated PPO. Or maybe 7. I don't believe that I think if you are solo cleared and you're still in your PPO, I think that you should take a month. On a solid server with a lot of stuff to learn, you should be 3 weeks to a month. So 3 to 5 weeks in the PPO. As long as you're every other day patrolling, every third day, 3 days, I think you're fine. I think you're living well at that point. I need to go a brief intermission. I'm gonna grab my food. I'm gonna eat it. I'm not gonna eat it here. I will be back. Stand by. Thank you for dropping by. If you have any questions in the chat, or you have input on what you would add to, like, how I would, this is just for those who do not. This is like my mock PD rank structure, because we got into the fact that there's only 18 people in right now, and there was 15 when I joined. And I was talking about how the SAS merge is 100% affecting this. The fact that two police departments are going to merge to one. And I think there's an easy fix. And I think this is the fix here. And if anything, chat, everyone should come down here. Actually, they should all come down here. For 7 days, every single person that is not high command should be down here. So cleared. No stripe. No stripe whatsoever. You're solo cleared. And you're just gonna sit down here, and you're going to show high command for 7 days what you can do. If you can't show high command what you can do in 7 days, gone. You're gone. If you're not good at your job, you're gonna go through academy again. You're gonna go back to cadet. If you're good at your job, you can become police officer, and you're gonna go from there. If you're really solid at your job, FTO. Those who are detectives, go up to detective again. It's gonna hurt for those who were detectives like to take it, but that's 100% needed. It makes 100% sense. If you're gonna restructure, you should do that. Don't worry about filling this. Worry about filling these two positions because you're focused on hiring and training. Or fill this position and fill 2 of these. Yeah, actually that makes 10 times more sense. Ask questions on that, pose the theory. I'll be back in like 10 minutes. It depends how long it takes me to eat these chicken tenders from Wingstop. Also, I know there's a pursuit. I'm gonna go 10-7 so I don't get yelled at.
Got a visual.
Although I like running payroll. I'll be right back. Ask some questions though, because I'm very curious on feedback for those who are watching the stream. I want feedback on what you would do to how you would steer from this. Would you go in line with this? What duties you would change? Or if you would completely redo what I had, because I'm actually very curious. I'll be back in a sec. I'll be back.